This is Gary Geiman with the Dominate the Day podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to help you get 1% better in your business, provide clarity, and give you some ideas that will help you grow your business. If you're ready to dominate the day, let's go.
Dominate the day, that's what we're about to do. If you don't want to dominate, then this podcast ain't for you. But if you are, then keep listening, cause every single damn day, the mission is to dominate. You already know we're here to dominate the day. So if you want to dominate every day, then let's go, it's time to grow. This is another episode of Dominate the Day.
Going on, Dominate Nation? We are back with another episode of Dominate the Day. I hope you guys are enjoying the change up in the episode styles. We still have I think 3 5-minute or so episodes a week, but I'm adding into it a couple interviews a week because let's be honest, I can only talk or come up with things to say so much, and I have a lot of interesting friends, and I think that you need to hear from them just as much as I think you need to hear from me. So that's the purpose of this. And today I have a really, really good friend of mine. I mean, we are as close as friends can get. We've spent time in the cold, sleeping in a tent together, and even though there was no, gayness, it feels gay every time I talk about it. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay. I'm just not, and I try not to be in those situations. But Chris and I have spent some time together doing that. We also obviously have owned home service businesses, and we both have a flair for marketing. It's just Chris is a lot better at it than I am, and his story is much more compelling because it's just a lot cooler. So when you get time to hang out with Chris Martinez, you do that. And today on Dominate the Day, we do have Chris Martinez. Welcome to the show, my friend.
What's up, dude? Hey, man, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So we were just in Orlando together at the PWMCA. Chris got to speak regarding one of the things that he's passionate about plus really good at, and that's charging a lot of money for people to have him clean their exteriors of their homes, windows, house washing, stuff like that. And, if you're in the home service space, Chris, it doesn't matter what the service is. Learning what stuff costs you and how to charge based on your value is probably the most important thing to the success of your business. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I always say, I don't know what industry everybody else is in, but I always say cleaning is not sexy, but it should be attracting high-end, luxurious clients. And if you do it right, it'll attract those things. And if you do your marketing right, your sales process will be easy, and then you'll be able to close those in the high-ticket sales. So yeah, it's not sexy, but it should be attracting high-end clients.
Yeah. And getting those people with money to pay you for services is a good thing, right? We all love it. So, I mean, dude, you've done so many things. At least, I mean, we've been, I would say, communicating friends for at least about 5 years now. And the things that I've seen you do have been incredible. I mean, you've covered so much stuff. I mean, I've seen you preach. I've seen you speak. I've seen you lead people in, your company, your team, just everything. But there was a Chris before that Chris, right?
Yeah, there was a scumbag before all that. Yeah.
Tell us about who Chris was before, you got into becoming an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I didn't even plan on becoming an entrepreneur. I think I was always an entrepreneur and didn't even know it. The backstory, the elevator pitch is my mom was a crack addict. Dad was a heroin addict. I was placed in foster care at the age of 2 years old. By the time I was 11, lived with 13 different families, just passed from family to family, been abused in every sense of the word abused, been rejected, abandoned, tossed aside. And through all that, part of my life story goes is we were not just drug addicts, but we were also drug dealers. And there's a sense of entrepreneurship there that I don't think most, people that do drugs, like, let me tell you like this, like no one's ever like, how many grams are in an ounce? Like, well, there's 28 grams in an ounce. How do you know that? It's like if I went to school, I would have never known that. Right. So, long story short, I had a brother, he ended up doing Fed time for that. My door gets kicked in by the SWAT team. And then that kind of changed my whole life there. I ended up getting a job. I became a welder. And that's where I would say I lost all entrepreneurial. Like, I'm going to be just a person that trades hours for dollars. This is all I'm going to do the rest of my life is just weld. And part of what I was in was the energy world, the oil field world. And when the economy collapses or the economy goes to, crap, so does the energy field, right? So I was one of those ones that, when it's feast, you're balling. And then whenever you're not, it's famine, right? So I was welding night shift. So I would go to my welding job at 6:30 in the morning, 6:30 at night, get off at 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. And then I would pass out flyers. And I wasn't doing this because I was an entrepreneur. I was really just because, man, I was used to making some good money. Like, I need to keep making this money, right? How do I keep making money? And then eventually what happened was, so if I wasn't passing out flyers I was doing jobs. And if I wasn't doing jobs, I was passing out flyers. And then eventually what would happen was my window cleaning started outpaying my welding. I didn't even know, I was like, well, I'm working 80 hours a week welding, or I can work 20 to 40 hours a week washing windows. So my scumbag story kind of led me to becoming an entrepreneur, because you learn really quickly, like, trading hours for dollars, it's not cute. Like,
yeah.
I have to work 80 hours every single week, and you can't work more than 80 hours, dude. By the way, I mean, this is like maximum, like 12 hours every single day. Maybe you can go 14, but eventually there's going to be a burnout point, and there's going to be a max out point of all you're going to be able to do, dude, is like 100 grand, 120,000 a year. And you're going to have to work a lot of hours for that.
Yeah.
So my entrepreneur journey, I didn't even know I was an entrepreneur, but I was doing mathematics in my head, reverse engineering things. So my story it's a unique one, because I think all entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs. They just don't even know it, right? Like, they're just in the wrong field.
Right.
Like, my wife's an artist. She's an entrepreneur and doesn't even know it, know?
Yeah. So true. I mean, you fall into, most people that I know that have started businesses, like, they started it out of a necessity, kind of like what you were talking about. You needed to make extra money, so you did it. Like, you think about all the people that we know that are in home service, the stories are similar to that, or they were a really good technician and they wanted to do it themselves, right? Yep. And there's like, being an entrepreneur, there's that those skill sets that we don't think about that we have to, like, become good at. Communication, selling, getting people to give you money when you do a service, those types of things. But if you think about what you were doing before, you probably are already doing that, just not in a, process or a specific way that makes you think, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I own a business. It goes to the core of kind of what our purpose is as human beings, to be, givers to others and to help them, get whatever it is that they're trying to get in terms of a business owner. Like, we're giving, we're helping them get what, we're helping our customer get what they want, and then they give back to us. And I hear it more times than not. Like, people will say, I didn't know I was, and then I became one, or I didn't know, like, that this was part of this, and all of a sudden here I am as an entrepreneur. And I will say, I did not know 28 ounces were in a gram.
Our 28 grams are in an ounce.
28 grams. See, I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Um,
Yeah, but this is this is the thing, like, you don't like most high schoolers aren't going to know that. Most college kids aren't going to know. And this is the thing about entrepreneurs, like, you can know it, like, right, like, no kid just knows 28 grams is in an ounce. You just
yeah.
like, nobody knows their close rate. But guess what, the cool part about it is you could become an entrepreneur and learn these numbers, and they're so important. But anyway, I'm sidetracking
Not
now.
at all,
So
man. Not at all. It's good stuff. So let's talk about like the learning piece in being an entrepreneur, either yourself or in helping others. Like if you had 1, 2 lessons that you've learned that you say like these are the things, or this is the thing that really has helped me excel in this journey. What would that, or what would those things be?
that answer is like changed over time, I think, and maybe next year it changes again. Like I would have probably told you last year, it would have been something related to marketing. Like, you got to know who your perfect client is, and
Yeah.
then the next time you ask me, you're like, well, you got to be able to close them at a maximum. The like number one, like, if I were to just sum it up, would be in one word of discipline. Like, not that's like nothing entrepreneurial. Like,
Yeah.
when I don't feel like doing it, I still have to do it.
Yeah.
And this is the number one thing I think that I've learned, because, man, we got like all these hopes, we have all these wishes, like, man, I'm going to launch my product, I'm going to launch my service, I'm going to become a millionaire. And then no one calls your phone. And then the discouragement sets in. And then, it's like, oh, you should have talked to the right customer. You should have, like, no, man. Like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow so discouraged.
Yeah.
And I need to know, like, have the discipline to wake up and do it again. Where did you fail? Like, what happened? The phone rang a lot. Okay, well, then what was in the sales process? That number one thing for me over the last, I'm just now learning this probably in the last 6 months, because there's been a lot of times where I'm like, I don't feel. And that word feel, this is, like, I'm a very victim of that. I'm a victim of the word feel. As much as I hate it, right?
Yeah.
Facts don't care about your feelings. I love that statement. But as an entrepreneur, we do fall trap into this, like, discouragement, and it's like, you just got to have, like, you know what? It sucks. Discipline. What's the goal? Like, what's the end? Like, what am I doing this for? Why? Like, so I would say that number one thing, more than close rates, more than talking to your right customer and your avatar and marketing. And I would say going into entrepreneurship and learning discipline, not having it, but just learning it, because I'm hoping that I don't have the same discipline today as I will hopefully next year or in 6 months. I hope next 6 months it's even more like, hey, dude, I don't, like, suck it up, buttercup, get it, and I'm doing this in every aspect of my life, with my kids, with my health. I don't feel like working out today. Dude, suck it up, bro. Go work out. I don't feel like going to Boy Scouts night. Dude, suck it up, go,
Yeah.
So that one right there has really helped me over the last 6 months to a year.
That's a great point. I mean, I think one mastermind I'm in, another group that I'm part of, like, the big takeaway is, developing the different disciplines in your life to be able to become the best version of yourself. Like, you just don't wake up one day and you're like, oh, I'm as good as I'm going to be. We're constantly, like you said, the answer to this question even has changed over time. And people, entrepreneurs, like whatever you want to classify yourself as, we are constantly changing. And if we're not staying mindful and, like you said, disciplined to what it is that you have to accomplish on a daily basis, like, this stuff is hard.
Yeah,
It
is.
Everybody that isn't one, and they see all the highlight stuff that you get to do, and I wish I had your life. There's times like, you probably don't wish you had my life, because if discipline isn't there, like, I'm staying in bed all day.
That's right. Yeah. Or you just get so, they're like, where's the money going to come from? You know, it's like, dude, problem solve. Like this whole thing of entrepreneurs being a problem solver, and you have to be disciplined to be a problem solver. Because if you let the problem overtake you, dude, I mean, and the coolest part about this, I would look back, I'm sure you do the same. Most of our problems, were mountains to us at the time. We look back at them like, you know, it really wasn't. It was just 10 grand. You know what I mean? It was like, it's just 10 grand, bro. Like, I mean, I can raise 10 grand like that. No, it's no problem, right? Like, or it's just, you know, an employee quit. It wasn't like, so what? You know, you look back, and that's the cool part about it is it's like, anyways, man, I can talk about that all day because it's something that I always see people going like I got to be a number one marketer, but dude, what happens when all hell breaks loose?
Right.
And like, dude, you got to be disciplined to the fact that it's like, all right, man, I'm a problem solver.
Right.
That's my number one job. My number one job isn't to do X service. I'm a problem solver. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a problem solver.
Dominate the day, that's what we're about to do. If you don't wanna dominate, then this podcast ain't for you. But if you are, then keep listening, cause every single damn day, the mission is to dominate. You already know we're here to dominate the day. So if you wanna dominate every day, then let's go, it's time to grow. This is another episode of Dominate the Day.